Welcome to the Grand Potential. We are so happy you're here. And this is really a special recording. We have an amazing entrepreneur to share with us his wisdom, his experience, his passion for human nature. He has supported people around the world personally as well as professionally. His name is Fiset. And he's a best-selling author. There he is, best-selling author. And he calls himself a student of human nature. Now that's interesting. And he is the founder of JVology. He's built multiple seven-figure businesses and really is in the midst of creating this groundbreaking business relationship building platform that's driven by artificial intelligence. Incredible. And he's really dedicated to instigating a global movement of conscious creators and supporting people to organize their life, their resources, their passions, and their gifts. And Jay, oh my goodness, we are so excited that you are here today. And I just thank you for contributing your time to the Grand Connection and our podcast called The Grand Potential. Thank you.
Love it. Well, thank you for having me. I really look forward to this.
Awesome. We're going to dive in right away. Okay. So we have three core values. The first one is connect. The second one being create. And the third one, your favorite word on the planet, collaborate. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to dive into connect. So I'm just going to ask a few questions and we're going to have some fun. Sound good?
Awesome.
Okay. So we want to know your story. Like you have a very interesting story, you know, how you became this leader, supporting businesses to create powerful joint venture partnerships. So, you know, what's your journey? What's your story?
Well, there goes the whole rest of the interview. It is a little odd. I'll give you chapter titles. You can dive into anything that you want more specifically. I spent really the first 25 years or so of my entrepreneurial career primarily running a personal development, personal transformation company here in Western Canada. And short version, I decided I wanted to leap into digital marketing because, you know, we were doing 200 plus events a year in 3 different cities. It was, you know, a little bit of work. So we started doing digital marketing. We failed miserably, like not a little bit, like epically bad, like burn all my money in the backyard in a bonfire, like over a span of time. And in that process, it became clear that I really needed some support because what worked in the classroom didn't necessarily work online, vice versa. And I joined a couple of joint venture communities, even though I don't know what the hell they are. And in that process, ultimately land on, accidentally, by the way, I would love to say that this was like brilliant strategy on my part, completely and utterly accidentally, like feeling my way around in the dark. Land on this little bit of content that we'd been doing for 25 years, which taught my coaches, my facilitators, my trainers to lead masterminds. And we created a brand called Mastermind to Millions. That was a epic success. We went from the brand didn't exist to $2.6 million US in 14 months, quite clearly, almost accidentally. And in that process, we had an inordinate number of people. It's just like, how the hell did you do that? And my answer was always, well, it's through joint ventures. And they were, will you teach me? It's like, no, that's not what we do. So that conversation happened, 7,892 times. And then it teach me, it's like, well, if I like you. And then so I started doing a little bit of stuff for people who were kind of close. And then that sort of exploded out of it, got out of hand. And we ultimately launched the brand JVology. That was back in January of 2017. And that fundamentally, JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit that helps entrepreneurs create a steady stream of perfectly qualified leads for free at the front of their business through connection, collaboration, and creation, and recurring passive income on the back end through serving our clients better and getting affiliate commissions and sales commissions and referral commissions by serving our clients better. So that's the chapter titles. And if you'd told me, just to be clear about this, 10 years ago, that this is what I'd be doing, I would have said, did you fall and hit your head? Because did not see this coming in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, that's an incredible story. And just the willingness that you had, like people are asking, well, I guess I better go in this direction. I mean, that really can inspire a lot of businesses too. to wake up to what are they being asked for? Well, maybe that's a path you need to go in your business. So to reach their potential. And Susan, I'm going to pass it over to you because this is really the meat and the potatoes is Susan's section, which is create. How do we create these joint venture partnerships that are successful? So I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Carolyn, you just said my question. Jay, how do we create these joint venture? You know, you talked about listening. You've already mentioned the part that you listen. So at that point, you know, you've listened. Now you have a product that you believe is exceptional. You're going to test it and get feedback. You want to get out there in the marketplace. You want to create some JV partners. How do we do that?
Well, number one, that's a brilliant question and one which there's a lot of answers to, but I think I fervently believe, and I mean, you two brilliant ladies actually create this opportunity, this environment as well. I think the most important decision that any entrepreneur is going to make in entrepreneurship in general, but certainly, if you're entertaining this idea of joint ventures, is what is the community or the communities that you are going to join that, please hear this, they exist for the express purpose of creating joint venture relationships. Like it's all, hey, I'm a part of a mastermind where I got to meet George, who like that was cool. But that community doesn't exist for the purposes of joint ventures. Now, some might come out of them, but it's not really the reason for its existence. The fastest way to go from I'm not doing joint ventures to I am serving my clients better, I'm making great money, and I'm making great money for my partners. The fastest way from point A to point B is to be in a community that exists for that express purpose. And I'll use JVology as an example. So you're going to find that it has a shortcut in communication. So, are you my upstream partner? Are you my downstream partner? It has a standard of a code of ethics. You know, you're talking about your 3 core values we're talking about. So ours are joint ventures, a game of I'll go first, and a multitude of others. But there's a standard way in which we approach these pieces. And in the community, here's the other beautiful part about this, is that you can be both recommended, introduced, which magnifies the process, and you can also steer clear of someone or something that doesn't necessarily work. So what transpires is this, you know, I literally, we were just at the last JVology Live, and there's a gentleman from Australia, he was talking about that. So I reached out to 17,892 people, and I've got one person who's interested. Like, well, how'd you do it? And it's a bunch of cold outreach. It's like, that is and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but it just is. That's the biggest waste of time. That is the dumbest thing in the entire universe. If they don't know you, they don't care about you, it's not going to make any difference. You build the relationship first, and then you see if the relationship has a possibility to create a distribution network for your product, services, and experiences, and for your partner's product, service, and experience. And the truth of the matter is, we don't know that until we can say, hey, I like you. You're sharp. You got something going on in the world. Let's see what we could create. And that's what those communities like mine, and by the way, I'm slightly biased. I think mine's greatest, but like mine, like yours, like Captain Lou's, like JDIC, like the multitude of others that exist. And to me, the other part about this is if you're going to set up your business to actually utilize JVs, being a part of just one is kind of goofy, like it's silly, that makes no sense. If you do the work to structure, then what you want is access to as many great people who are aligned to you and your mission as you can possibly get. So that was a long answer, but join a community is the short version of that.
And join more than one. And that's why we are partnering here with you, and we've collaborated with you, and we attended your JVology, and it was phenomenal. Like the one thing that, you know, we got there is that we got to swim in the stream, right? So can you explain your upstream, downstream, and mainstream to everybody? Because you mentioned it already, and I know they're wondering.
Yes. Okay. So here is, and I'm going to preface this by just saying, most people starting in the JV space are looking for, it's like, so who has a list of my clients? And usually that question lands at something that somebody who does either something the same or very similar to what you do, and there's a whole bunch of overlap. And that overlap, I mean, you gotta really have an abundant grounding, which is important in JVs, to entertain doing a JV with someone there's a bunch of overlap with. Like you got to get that. And I perceive the three of us are those human beings, you know, as living, breathing examples. But for most people, that's a tough place to start. So here's what we think of it. Instead of who has a list of my potential clients, it's this: what problem do I solve? So JVology solves the problem of either expensive leads or non-existent leads, because we provide a steady stream of perfectly qualified leads for free. So that's the problem we solve. We also solve the ups and the downs, the roller coaster revenue for most entrepreneurs by having a steady stream of commission and referral and affiliate income that stabilizes that ups and downs. You can just count on it. And by the way, that money there is pure profit because we didn't have to do any work for it. All we did was run an introduction, all those sorts of things. There's no fixed costs, there's no variable costs, there's none of this stuff. That shit goes to the bottom line. Some of my favorite money in the universe. Anyway, so if we think about the problem that we solve, our best upstream partners, okay, and think of it, if you stand in front of a river, this is upstream and the water is coming towards you, okay? Our best upstream partners are those that either cause the problem that we solve, diagnose the problem that we solve, or reveal the problem that we solve. So that by the time the potential client comes down to us, it's like, yeah, I know I have that problem. And the person I was working with up there recommended Jay as a great person to get qualified leads and all those sorts of things. This is just absolutely perfect. I'm going to do it. So upstream partners send us clients who recognize they have the problem that we solve, and we build that relationship strategically for that reason. So if you follow this from the problem solution process, we're endorsed. They know they have the problem that we solve. As long as we serve and support them in a wise and intelligent manner, the odds are they're going to become our clients. And the truth is, we don't pay for those leads. We've cut a deal with the person upstream that says, hey, send us your folks who have this problem. We will do our very best to solve it. When they purchase from us, we will send you an affiliate commission, a referral commission, a reward of some sort. Now, we do our work with them. And then it's like, we cause some problems. They say on average, every single solution that is ever rolled out in entrepreneurship generates 5 to 7 new problems. Now, some of us are better at causing problems than others. And if you were to ask my wife, she'd say, I am stunning at it. So I might cause 15 or 20 problems when I roll out a solution. So our downstream folks are the folks that solve the problems that we create, reveal, or diagnose. So a good example for us is in the joint venture space. And by the way, you don't have to be technologically adept to do JVs. You can do it with a handshake and a business card, just to be clear. But as the digital world evolves, one of the things that makes it really, really easy are these things called affiliate links. So if you have a customer management system and you have a product, service, or experience, and I can say, hey, here's my affiliate link, that makes it easier for me to JV. So when I get people inspired about running JVs, their next problem is like, how do I create an affiliate link? And I say, well, hey, I happen to use Infusionsoft. I happen to use ClickFunnels. I happen to use all of these tools. And if you were interested in it, I'd be happy to introduce you to Infusionsoft. And in fact, I've negotiated a special deal for all JVology members that you can get it cheaper this way than any other way. So I then just send them to my downstream partner, which is Infusionsoft, to solve the problem that I helped create, reveal, or diagnose. And then Infusionsoft, when they choose to become a client, sends me money. That's the upstream downstream model in a nutshell.
And what about mainstream? Like, so give me an example of who would be your mainstream partners.
And just to be clear about this, so I don't use the word mainstream, I use Instream.
Oh, Instream. Okay, yeah. It's Instream.
Yeah.
I've gotten the word wrong. Okay.
But it means the same thing. So here's what it really means is in both of those examples that I gave, is that there are times where we are perfectly lined up. And I'll just use that example. So me and Infusionsoft are perfectly lined up. It's like, okay, I'm going to set up my business to do digital marketing in year 2021, and I need the tools that are going to get me through the job. It's like, great, you have a real business, you're going to invest. Infusionsoft is it. They are perfectly aligned. I would call them in stream. Okay, what might not be exactly in stream is like, hey, I want to do affiliate marketing, but I've decided I'm going to go door to door and I'm going to leave my business card there, and I'm going to really hope that they're going to phone me, and I'll keep. So it's anything that is not quite on would be something that we would say isn't necessarily perfectly in stream. The in-stream partners have exceptional conversion. The partners that aren't quite in-stream generally don't. So here would be an example. A dear friend of mine, they do energy work and healing work and all of those pieces, which is a part of sort of our personal development world from the old days. But most of my list today are entrepreneurs who are looking for practical, tactical marketing processes. Now, I'll still do a JV with somebody who is in the energy field, because I also have a whole bunch of folks on the list from way back when. But I'm not a perfectly in-stream partner for her in her energy work. I'm going to send an email, and maybe we'll pick up a few opt-ins and those sorts of things, because those folks still hang around me from years gone by, but we're not in stream. I'm happy to help her, but we're not Instream. Do you see the difference?
Yeah. And like, I mean, I consider that what we do, because we're with you guys, we're quite in stream with JVology and the Grand Connection. I mean,
100%.
I'm going to be at my event. When you're speaking, we're going to be telling all of our members that, you know what, participate in JVology as well as the Grand Connection, because we all are reaching and solving the same problem.
Yep.
For everybody.
Absolutely.
And I know our communities are the same people. We have a lot of the same values. A lot of our community doesn't, we also do when we promote collaboration, we also promote collaborating on things like books, and not everybody is an affiliate right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is in your group? Is everybody doing affiliate marketing, or is it a combination?
It's a combination. It's actually all over the map, and we want it to be even more all over the map. Sometimes I have folks say to me, it's like, oh, hey, that's for those coaches and intellectual property entrepreneurs. And it's like, yes, and it's for farmers, and it's for people who bake pies, and it's for people who do custom leather work, and it's for so we have a really broad range. And we always say to people, there's sort of like 3 levels of it. There's just like the basic affiliate marketing, get an affiliate link, send it around and see what happens. Then there are joint ventures. There are particular projects, like you were talking about a book, or we can get behind somebody who has something that's important to bring to the world, and we can help them get that out to the world. It has a beginning, a middle, and end. We'd work together once. We may work together another 100 times. We may never work together again. And then there's the strategic partnerships, where we get to the spot where we're actually embedding content and experiences and lessons in one another's content that creates a steady stream of ongoing flow. So we think of it from all 3. And I really want people, really want people to understand that one of the benefits of participating in a community is you begin to see all of these variations of what JVs look like. Because unfortunately, email marketing and digital marketing and that whole world has, in my view, has given most people an incredibly narrow, inappropriate, and kind of icky sometimes feeling about joint ventures and those sorts of things. But that's like 1% of what is possible. If we start thinking about, wait a second, what does this really mean, and how do we actually serve our clients better using the problem solution model? There's so many ways to go about it. It's incredibly powerful.
Well, and that links in with the grand potential.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, there is so much opportunity, so much potential. And Jay, I know your time is extremely tight right now, so I want to wrap up.
Okay.
I respect your time. Thank you. So my last piece is collaborate. And just, if you can just give us one of the greatest collaborators, influencers, mentors that you have, and just the reason, like the impact that you have had personally from that in that collaboration.
That's a really great question. And I would have to actually tip my hat. There's 2 people actually, and they really helped me figure out, they helped me stop burning money in my backyard. And the first of which is actually a gentleman named Christian Michelson, who invited me to his joint venture summit when at a moment in time where I wouldn't have known what a joint venture was if it hit me on the head. Like I was just utterly and completely clueless is the best way that I can put that. So he opened the door to the possibility of beginning to understand it. And then a gentleman named Justin Livingston, another Canadian fellow from Vancouver, was kind enough to sort of take me under his wing and say, it's like, no, that's not what that means. It's over here. And his guidance and support, really, the Mastermind to Millions brand that went from 0 to 2.6, he and his connections and his guidance probably generated half of that money. So I would say those 2 folks have made a monumental difference in us getting our feet on the ground in this domain.
Fabulous, because I really truly believe that's part of collaboration too. I just think having that support and mentorship, wonderful. So how do people get a hold of you? What can their next steps be in our community that's going to listen to this podcast?
Well, to me, I would love for your community to come check out JVology Live. And I think that you guys have links that you can share and send them off to JVology Live, explore what that is. We do them anywhere from 2 to 6 times a year, depending what's going on in our year. And it's really the best way to sit in a room with a couple of 100 entrepreneurs where the express purpose is having these conversations, and you will leave understanding what this is. You will leave with partners, you'll leave with opportunity, and you'll leave wondering why the hell you didn't do that before.
Exactly. And their eyes will be opened at the incredible opportunity and potential. It's infinite, people. Like, this is infinite. So we love JVology, and we thank you for spending the time with us. And thank you, Jay, for contributing so much to your community and everything that you stand for, your team, your wife, everything. It's magnificent.
My absolute pleasure. And thanks so much for having me. I truly appreciate this. I wish we could chat longer.